Collaboratory Technology at COVAB, and I serve as the chairperson of class representatives in the university. Once again, you are very much welcome. And like she said, if it's possible, you call your friend, your roommate, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, everyone. We need to see this place filled with people.
All right, thank you so much, Eric. I'd like to thank the people of Emerging Leaders Program for this initiative. Thank you so much. People in t-shirts, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for making this happen. And those who have already come, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being good time managers. And I hope you've registered there. Yeah, if you haven't registered, you can go there and register for accountability. And then we can see what to do. So meanwhile, as we wait for people to come, I'd like to ask you people, I'd like to ask a few people if anyone knows what the theme for tonight is. That topic, like what we are going to be talking about. If you know what the topic is, let me see you.
What is today's topic?
Prime Minister. You know the topic for tonight's conversation? All right, you give us.
I don't know why Michael Gerasi likes provoking me. Well, the topic for today is trapped by choices.
Wow, that's very good.
Prime Minister.
Oh,
Prime Minister. Thank you so much. That is our topic tonight. Trapped by choices. So another thing.
all right. Do you have people who are joining us for the first time? This is your first time to join the Kyoto Fireside Conversation.
Wow.
Where are you?
Wow.
Wow, you are very much welcome.
Wow.
And young ones who are joining us, wow, once again, in a very special way, you are very much welcome.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. Those ones who have first come for the first time, let me see you again. Wow. You're so much welcome. And let me assure you, this is home. Yeah? Never, ever miss a short or fireside conversation, because we've learned a lot of things from these conversations. We've gained a lot of things. And trust me, you testify after you've attended these conversations. Those who are in year one, thank you so much for coming. And these conversations, they have helped us, because I, for one, started attending them when I was in year one, semester 2. Yes. And I assure you that where I am right now, it is because I attended the Choto Fireside Conversation, because there are very many things I didn't know, very many things I learned from here. Yeah.
And like she had said, even me, when I joined in year one, I attended this, and that's what inspired me to go ahead and stand as the chairperson of class representatives alongside students who were in year 2, year 3. So this is a very good avenue, and I don't want you to get the knowledge or whatever is going to be shared here alone. That's why I'm still calling upon each and every one of you to call your friend to be part of this conversation. It is very inspirational, full of learning, and I don't want anyone to miss it.
So I've realized we are that side so much. We are leaving out people from this side. So I'm going to welcome them in a special way. Hi, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very fine, madam.
So I'd like to ask you something. You're going to tell us your name, your class, your course, and then you tell us what you expect tonight. Like, what is your expectation tonight?
Thanks so much, MC. My name is Cohen Anguyo Amati Businge. I am a year 4 student at COVAB. Yeah, it's not my first time to be here. I've been here before. And we have been learning. Yeah, and I expect to continue with that process of learning and gaining a lot from this Choto. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. When we're coming, when you're going somewhere, everyone has their expectations. You may find we are here, someone's expecting to learn, another one is expecting to get a soulmate, you know. So before you know it, be like, we met at the Choto fireside conversation. She was my neighbor. You get it? So I also like to know this gentleman, the same question I've asked this one.
Good evening. I'm Koja Kisobrian. I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Veterinary Medicine. I'm in my third year. This is not my first time to be here. Actually, I love Shoto very much. It has helped me in very many ways. One, it has boosted my confidence. Secondly, I want to take a journey in leadership. That's why all the time when it is here, I have to find myself around. And I encourage the freshers to take this very, very serious. I personally, I like it so much. And it is helping me a lot. And every time I come here expecting to learn something new. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much. Can we please clap for the gentleman? He said he's looking forward to becoming a leader, and he loves Choto so much, and he encourages the freshers to come. And let me tell you, if you're looking forward to become a leader, this is the right place. Yeah? This is a very right place. So, MC, you have something to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we have those who have come in for the first time. When you saw something about a Kyoto fireside conversation, what came into your mind and what are your expectations if you are here for the first time? I saw many of you raising up your hands that you're coming in for the first time. So what are your expectations?
There is a gentleman in blue, a blue t-shirt there right in front of you.
I started. Okay, I can expect something, right? I was expecting something like logistics.
Okay.
Wow. No, don't worry about that. In Emerging Leaders Program, logistics are assured. So don't worry.
What did he just say?
He said he expected to see logistics.
Don't worry. Logistics will come, colleagues. So I'd like to request the people that are standing there behind, I request you to come and take your seats kindly. Yeah? And thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. In our midst, meanwhile, our guest speaker has arrived. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Join me as we welcome him. Let's just welcome him in the building. Thank you so much. We are still going on. I'm still getting expectations from people. Especially
those who are coming in for the first time.
Good evening, everyone. So for me, my expectation today was when I saw this poster and the topic trapped by choices. So I wanted to know and I wanted to learn from the story you're going to hear today, saying my journey from death row to purpose. So I expect to learn many things from that. That's it, my expectation today.
wow. Can we clap for him?
Indeed, it is a very capturing topic because you wonder someone who was at a death row and then to purpose. Oh my God. I also can't wait to learn from that story.
Me as well. There is a gentleman there in the corner in an orange t-shirt. He wants to tell us his expectation.
Hello, everyone. Good
Hello.
evening. Death row is normally given to capital offenses, offenses that are very, very strict, I think. So, for someone to have transformed from being such a character to a purposeful person is what I wanted to know. How this thing came to them and they changed character and became better citizens of this country. Thank you very much.
Wow, that is right, because I for one am also curious. Like, I'm wondering, from a death row to having purpose and actually being successful, how? You get it? So we're looking forward to all that, and I believe that as we move on, we are going to really understand what it all means, and we shall get to know. Maybe you're there, you're worried, maybe you're going through something, maybe you're confused, you do not know what next, you do not know what to do. I mean, everything is going to be said here, and trust me, we are going to go with a lesson or two. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know whether Council Joel has not come to do his research from here. Thank you very much for that. He's a lawyer in the making. Many of you looked at him as he was giving his submission, so you are welcome once again.
All right. I'd like to welcome people there who are just coming. Please register and come and have your seats. And thank you so much for coming. As I had said before, text that friend, tell them to come because we have already started. I'd like to welcome people who are already here. Our guest speaker is already in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's welcome him. Thank you so much. We have people from the Emerging Leaders Program. Thank you so much for coming. And then we have student leaders. Our Prime Minister is already here. We have our Speaker of the 91st Guild House. We have the Deputy Speaker. We have GRCs here. We have the Chairperson Games Union. I would like us to join hands and welcome them. If you're a leader, please stand up and recognize you.
And the class representatives too.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for coming. And of course, a good leader is what? A good leader is what?
A good leader is?
A good leader is exemplary.
Exactly. So that means that if you're here as a leader, that means that your people, the people that you lead, are also on their way or they're already here. Yeah? So, without much ado, we are going to start officially our fireside Choto conversation. Are you ready? Are you ready to learn? Okay, so we are going to start with an opening prayer, which is going to be led by Kashif George, who is the president of the SAFE clubs. And the SAFE clubs, which are under the Emerging Leaders Program. But before he prays, he's going to first tell us what SAFE means so that we understand. Yes, Mr. President.
Good evening once again.
Good evening.
You're most welcome to this fireside conversation. I'm Kashif George Apollo. I happen to be the chairman of the SAFE clubs under the Emerging Leaders Program. SAFE simply means, it's an acronym. So SAFE is sexually fortified, addiction free, financial faithful, and education focused. So mainly that's what the program is about. We are running a campaign on the 4 pillars. Yeah, let's pray and we begin. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your guidance. We thank you for everyone here, Lord Jesus. We thank you that we are going to receive from you, from our speaker. Father, we pray that you guide him in whatever he's going to speak. Be his mentor, be his everything, Lord Jesus, that when he's speaking to us, we are able to understand whatever he's going to be telling us. And we pray that everyone who is here is going to be transformed by what he's going to share with us. In Jesus' mighty name I have prayed.
Thank you so much for the prayer. All right. So moving forward, thank you so much for the prayer. A husband who prays. Yeah, yeah. So before we move on to the other item, we are going to first test. Yeah, we're going to first test our culture. I need a year one student to test for us because I know that you've been trained. I need a gentleman and a lady. Culture, right? A culture.
Oi.
A culture.
Oi.
Who is ready?
Your ones?
The winner will get what? A prize. No. I need a young one. Who is ready?
Culture. Emma Kerero.
The gentleman, right.
A lady. A lady in year one. How can we fail to get a lady? We always say ladies first. Oh.
So we are going to start with a lady. Ladies first. Yeah, we're going to start with a lady. And I believe that people here, you all know about culture. In our guest speaker, before you left, and culture was very strong by then. Yeah. So we are going to test. We are going to take you back to the roots. Yeah. So we're going to test, starting with the lady. We are ready. Come in front.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Chirabo Patience Joyce. I'm in year one. I'm doing a Bachelor of Environmental Science.
Clap for the lady. We don't want to say red flag here. Oi. A ladies, you are lagging behind. Anyone to save her? Yes.
Emerging leaders. Ra. Ah. Cha.
Wow, let's clap for her. Yeah, she will perfect with time. She will perfect with time. So,
Thank you so much. People who are coming, please come and take your seats. The seats are here. Come and take seats. And people who are passing by, maybe you're wondering what is happening. Please, this is the Choto Fireside Conversation. And don't pass by without coming here and you know what is happening. Yeah? You can call your friends. I emphasize that because I believe that everyone here has a friend. So there's no way you come here and leave your friend in the room, bored or what. So please text them, make that call. You never know, it can be their turning point. You get it? It can be their turning point tonight. Yeah. So we were still doing way. And the lady did well.
tried.
Did she do well?
She tried.
Someone is saying no.
She tried.
How many do you give her on the percentage of 1 to 10? 1.
You are just very mean.
No. 1. Okay, so we are going to have a gentleman and we compare and contrast. Okay, so gentleman, your turn.
And later we shall have verification from, from the ancestors.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name's Bwambale Mzamil. From the College of Kayes. I'm doing the Bachelor of Science in Tourism and Hospitality Management. Yeah, first year student, first semester. So I'm going to try the culture of the Makerere University. Where Makerere 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 Makerere
Oh,
Kayes. Sure.
wow. Another round of applause.
Another round of applause. Kayes oi.
Oh,
Kayes oi. Okay, we are going to have a verification from a chief elder, right?
yes.
And then we shall, of course, I want to first thank the year ones. They have done well. Because what do you mean year one can do way? Some of us would be scared. Thank you so much. So we're going to have verification from the elder. Do we even need a microphone? Okay. And it's from Kayes as well. Kayes soy. Kayes soy.
Echo
Let's go.
boy. Echo boy. Wow, thank you very much. That's the ancestor.
Hello.
Hello.
At least I also know that one. Thank you so much, Ancestor Lemmy Abel. And he's an emerging leader, and he's also a GRC Kayes. Yeah? I think you see the energy. So thank you very much. Before I start, I was asking the expectations that we have, but I think there are some people who have just joined and they have expectations. I'm going to get 3 people from the audience to tell me your expectations. Actually 4. Gender balance, because I'm a gender student, yeah? 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen. Your expectations, and then we move forward. If you have, let me see you.
And it would be better if those people are coming for this Kyoto fireside conversation for the first time. Do you have those people who are coming for the first time and you have expectations as per the topic? People, don't bore us.
This side, there is someone. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Make Roy.
Oi.
Hey, Make Roy.
Oi.
My name is Nandubu Brian Yokoyasi. I'm a law student. I'm a second year student. When I saw this in the group, the Emerging Leaders group, because I joined it this year. Last year I missed out. I could see people and I could not make sense. But when I saw it, I felt I could come and try to explore with my friends and also try to learn more. Because mostly what's in class is kind of different from what's in practice. So when I saw something to do with death row, and I tried to compare death row, acquittal, and someone getting to bigger choices, I was stunned. So I wanted to come and share that experience and try to see how as a lawyer in the making, I can try to learn from such a situation. So my expectations this evening, one of them, I would love to know on what grounds was the acquittal made. Then, secondly, I would really love to know what's outside the book. What's in practice? I would also love to hear that, because just of recent in the Chigula case, we had something to do with shifting the death row to life imprisonment, something to do with that. So I would love to really know, how does someone feel if they say you're on a death row? Because we are lawyers. By the time you start saying someone should be taken for death or something, how is that someone going to feel? And I would love to have that experience, like to share that and try to add on my legal knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome. Lawyers.
He has a lot of expectations. That
The language of lawyers. Cases. Acts.
acquittal.
Acquittal. Can I see law students? If you're here and you're doing law. All right. Thank you so much for coming. And I welcome everyone from every corner, from every college. Choose, Kayes, courses, Corners, Covab, School of Law, CHS, Cobams. Which college have I left out? Sedat. Corners. Thank you so much for coming. We are still on expectations, and I don't want to do imbalance. I'm going to get someone from this side, a lady probably, to tell us the expectation tonight. Since our guest speaker is already here, he's taking and he's listening to what you're expecting, and he's going to, fulfill your expectations. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. A good evening. My name is Nancy Arije. I have a lot of expectations this evening, especially to know what influences someone to make a certain choice. Maybe they have their own reasons and we judge them at the end of the day. To learn and relearn. Thank you so much.
Very smart. Thank you so much. Learn, relearn, and unlearn. At least I'll go home with that one if all things fail. But of course, what she has talked about, everyone does something through the influence. They have a reason why they have done something, and we end up judging them without knowing where they are coming from. And we are going to know all those things tonight. Everything is going to get done this night. You have someone from that side. We are left with a gentleman and a lady. And then we start off officially.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening to everyone.
Let's make it quick.
Okay, I'm Saz Kerichigozi from CIS, and my expectation is someone asked a question how this transformation is coming from the dead end up to a part of purpose. Then my question in supplement to that, how, is what does it take for one to change from the other way into the right path? What does it take, and what conditions are there for that person to really change from that death end into a personal purpose? Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you so much. And right now, we are going to officially start our conversation tonight. I'll start by welcoming the opening remarks from the EOP Secretariat. Emojon Kaseija is going to give us opening remarks. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I will ride on the already established protocol. I want to welcome the guests to this Kyoto. To me, it's a special one. We've had good Kyotos or fireside conversations in English, But this one is a special one because we listen to a story of someone that has gone to the depths of, I don't know what you could think of. I've read Shadrach's story in news. I think when I saw that he was our guest, I made a little search, read a news bulletin of New Vision in 2001 about Shadrach, then saw another about Shadrach in 2009, still New Vision, then saw a tweet about Shadrach in April 2025. I think I shared that one with Geoffrey. And in my head, I'm asking myself, how do people do these things? And how is it possible for people who have done these things to actually change? And besides organizing, I want at some point to take a seat and listen. I would like to encourage all of us here again to listen to Shadrach's story. I want to thank Shadrach for owning up his story and deciding to share it with us so that it is a lesson for us, the younger ones, to learn from and not do the mistakes. Sorry for calling them that, but the mistakes that you probably had to make then. One thing I can tell all of you is that just listen and you will learn. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Mojong. Tracing such a story from the grassroots is something not easy. And I'm sure he made the best choice of the speaker from whom we are going to listen. So let us sharpen our ears and mind to listen and learn from the story of Mr. Shadrach.
Thank you very much. Without wasting time, we're going to welcome the remarks from the Guild representative, who is our Prime Minister, Mr. Nsobia Hannington. You're welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Michael Gerasi and my chairperson class reps, because I'm almost a class rep. Our dear keynote speaker, our top leaders, Mr. Geoffrey from ELP, honorable ministers and honorable Gerasis present here, noble colleagues, Gat Makererians, good evening.
Good evening.
By name, I'm Nsobia Hannington, the 91st Guild Prime Minister, Makerere University Students Guild. I also serve as the Male GRC School of Women and Gender Studies and a proud feminist. To start with, I'll first of all thank the emerging leaders who have really endeavored to organize for us these wonderful programs that help to shape our decisions, the ways we do things as youth, as Garant Makerere. So I really appreciate this wonderful initiative, and I urge and encourage Garant Makererians to really take part and make good use of these wonderful initiatives. As I always said, many occasions talk about the many challenges youth have. But amidst the many challenges they have is that they are always not available. Wonderful opportunities are put up for them, and they are too busy on Makerere Wi-Fi and doing other stuff that will be regrettable when they leave campus. To go back to the topic, well, the issue of being trapped by choices. To me, I usually give a choice a simple definition. It's simply the act of making the right decision. But what do you consider in making your choices? So, as youth, as emerging leaders, let us always research and know, really have some insight about what are the repercussions of the decision I'm taking today. How will I suffer the consequences? And in case one has made a wrong decision, failure comes, and failure is usually a learning point. If failure comes, the only challenge with failure is giving up when you've failed. But failure is always actually a stepping stone and a learning point that at many occasions produces success, if in case you embrace it and do what is required of you in the right time. As emerging leaders, I'll urge you to really be disciplined, because it's one of the key factors that determine our decisions, that determine our fate. Because don't forget that the choices you made yesterday are the ones defining you today. And the choices you're making today are the ones that are defining your tomorrow. So with all this, I'm sure that in case we really embrace the discipline financially, the discipline academically, the discipline in relationships we make, and the networks we make, I'm sure success will be along our way. As the guild, we stay committed to working with you, supporting the emerging leaders, and also other wonderful programs that are to come and really support you as Gallant Makererians. I once again thank you for really coming here. Stay tuned, learn as much as you can, network, because really these are opportunities you get to network and make friends beyond the classroom. At many occasions at university, when you come to university, some of us just attend lectures and go. But in lecture rooms, it's very difficult to have a friend from a lecture room, apart from some few maybe we discuss with. So it's in these wonderful engagements and social gatherings that are organized that you make networks. Maybe if you're from education, you meet a lawyer, you meet an engineer in this wonderful platform, and you also have to learn from the wonderful insights shared and given to us by those emerging leaders. So I once again thank you so much. You're most welcome. I love you all. We build for the future, for God and my country. I remain in Sobia Hannington, the 91st Good Permits of Makerere University.
A round of applause for Michael GRC, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, our Prime Minister, for those insightful ideas. I always go to him for advice to know how I can survive in the future. He's very good, a very good man. You can reach out to him for anything. And I'd like to welcome people from Emerging Leaders Program. Mr. Joffre, please, you're welcome. And then we welcome Miss Betty. Thank you so much for coming. And then Mr. Aaron, thank you so much for coming. Before I call upon someone from the Dean's office, I'm going to first read about our guest speaker. People who are standing, please come and sit. I don't want you to miss out. I'm going to read. At the age of 22, Shadrach Magara, who is our keynote speaker tonight, walked through the gates of Luzira Maximum Security Prison in Kampala, Uganda, as a prisoner. It would be 24 years before he walked out as a free man. 14 of those years of incarceration were spent on death row, where Shadrach and others like him lived with a constant and haunting fear that any day could dramatically be their last. In Living Lies, Shadrach shares his journey through rebellions, brokenness, despair, friendship, endurance, and redemption. His experiences and reflections offer pause for thought, serving as a sober cautionary tale with a reminder that choices have consequences. Some of the incredibly devastating, while also making a case for good for those who err. And about him is that he was born on 21st December 1972. Shadrach Magara is a founding director of Pasem Havens Foundation, an organization which strives to reintegrate former inmates into society in addition to skilling and counseling them so as to help reduce crime. Pasem also reaches out to youth in schools and communities to sensitize them on the importance of making wise decisions and avoiding vices that can destroy their future. Shadrach Magara is married to Rebecca and has 3 sons. That is all about our keynote speaker. And before I invite him to tell us what we are all waiting for eagerly, I'm going to first welcome Mr. Martin to give us the remarks and welcome him officially. Join me as we welcome Mr. Martin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Letitia. Thanks for the good work that you're doing with my brother here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, you don't have the vibe. Emma Kereroy. Emma Kereroy. I know you all come from different constituencies, so I will address you to your different halls of residences. Enkurumoe, Ensibiroe, Estonoe, Africoe, Mary Stewartoe, Elumumboe. Which one else? Complex. Complexoe. Mitchell, where are you? Oe. Katanga, oe. Chikoni, oe. Chikumi, oe. Wandegea, oe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Martin Rugamba. Yes, sir. You a Choi. Sorry. And by the way, I was a guarantee goat. I'm sorry, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from the advancement office. Today I'm sitting in for my boss, who is called Awel Iwihanganye, who is the chief advancement officer, and probably representing the dean's office, which was supposed to be represented by Dr. Rodney Rujema, the deputy dean. All of you are here. You've come to learn. You're not representing the institution, but you're representing the communities where you come from and the nation at large. Be eager to learn. Network from the people sitting in front here. Make sure that when you're going back, get to know the person that you're sitting next to. Make sure that you network. You don't know where the world will lead us to. We all need each other. So, without wasting much time, we are here to listen to our brother Shadrach. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me welcome him with a thunderous applause from you. Thank you very much.
Wambi, thank you very much. It's a great honor for me to stand in front of you here today. I really thank you for the way you welcomed us when we were coming in. You know, Makerere University is not a very, very simple place. I was here quite some time back. We are going into that one a bit later on. But I do want to start with, should I call it a disclaimer? I'm not so sure. I'm still trying to relearn my English. When we talk about expectations, I'm standing here and I am wearing many hats. I'm wearing mine as a person. I'm wearing mine as a founder of an organization. But most of all, what really touches me most is I'm standing here as a representative of brothers and sisters of mine. Friends who I met, who I left in prison. They are men, they are women, they are young, they are old, they are rich, they are poor. They are educated, though the majority of them are uneducated who are inside them. I'm trying to share a story which is both mine and which is theirs also. I'm trying to show you a life that you do not know. A life whereby few people can experience and not many come out to tell the tale of what happens there. It isn't easy for an ex-inmate to come out in front of people. We face a lot of stigma. We face a lot of condemnation. We face a lot of judgment. One expectation I'm not going to do today is I'm not going to be like most inmates who come out. Most inmates who come outside prison want to be accepted by society. And the way they want society to accept them is by saying that, no, we are not guilty, we are innocent. They looked us up innocently, believing that by doing so, you're going to accept them. I'm not here standing saying I'm innocent. Neither am I here standing saying I'm guilty. I'm not here to talk about judges and what they could have done wrong or this and that and that. I'm here to share a story, which is more about me. It's not really about me, but it's more about you. If there's something that you can learn in what I'm trying to share that can relate to you, that is the reason why I'm here. But not going back into specifics and this and that. I hope in what I share, you may learn something. I hope in what I'm going to talk about, it may build you and strengthen you in one way or another, so you can be able to avoid a number of pitfalls that we went through. Being a prisoner, very many people are hurt just by the fact of someone being in prison. You find your family is hurt, they are there. I had my mother, she had to walk up a prison hill for 24 years to come and see me. My family was hurt, they had to face stigma, they had to face condemnation. People were hurt in the cases in which I was, accused of. Whether I was responsible or not is another matter. So I pray that we respect all of these thoughts and feelings. And on my behalf and behalf of all inmates around the country, I want to ask for forgiveness first of all most. Forgiveness from all those who I hurt, Some may be listening, forgiveness from my family, forgiveness from my child who I left when he was 6 months old. Of course, a lot of pain. With the choices that we make, we do not know. But the pain does not really affect us alone, but it affects so many people. So I pray you may forgive me. I pray you may forgive those who have asked me to ask you for forgiveness and for a second chance. Thank you. When I was preparing to come here today, I had prepared some things to say. And then a friend of mine, he was really trying to help. He sent me a link of people who had been talking here before. But I'm telling you, when I listened to those people, I almost ran away. I almost didn't come. Because I was looking at people, I was seeing Allen Kajina, I was seeing Dr. James Magara. You know, they'd come and introduce them. You know, when they are giving their CV, they can talk for like around 20 minutes. This man did this, he's done that, he's chairman, yeah, he's this, he's that, he's that, he's that, he's that, he's that. So I said, my God, now I'm coming to these guys. What am I going to tell them? What is on my CV? You know, like maybe with Dr. James Magara, what we share is the name. I'm also Magara, you know. Maybe apart from that also, like, as I am going to share with you, I grew up well. Family was okay. I went to the best schools at that time. I was in Kitante Primary School. It was one of the best. I went to King's College Budo. It was one of the best. I went to Chambogo College. It was a good school at that time. I went to Ntare School. I have to say, it was one of the best, or they would stone me from here. You know, Ntare boys out there. I went to Makerere College School. And from Makerere College School, I came here to Makerere University. I was in Lumumba Hall. And I had my girlfriend in box, so we're a proper Lumbox couple. You know. So when people are talking about culture, I just wanted to shout, Lumumba, oye, box, oye, oye. The rest, it is Z. People stone me also from here. You have different kind of culture. So I joined campus. But coming into campus, I didn't really come to campus to study. All through my life, I was going through life really not having any direction. Could sit there, someone would ask me, what do you want to be in life? I didn't know. I came wanted to have fun. You're now in a free life. You're, you know, practically adults. You're not in a senior secondary school. There are no rules. We had a guild canteen. You can drink out every day, go out every night, have fun in whatever way it is that you want to. I joined campus, this was in 1992, in October. In just after 2 years' time, I found myself arrested and being taken to prison. Nobody wakes up one morning wanting to be a criminal, wants to destroy their lives. They are just a combination of simple choices that we make that seem so small. You don't know where it's going to take you. You think it's innocent. You think it's whatever. Somehow, you find yourself like I did that cold evening with a bus moving up, chug up the Luzira Hill. We got up to the place, Luzira Walls. I don't know who's been there. Very big. They're like, you know, it's like a castle of a giant or something. Door goes up to here. They open the doors, just opening like that, put us all inside, everybody. Chuchu machine is cutting down. One thing I'll never forget is the doors closing. You know, they are too heavy, they move on wheels. So they just went, shut, pop, behind me. The silence was deafening. What was going through my head was what I can't really explain. I was asking myself, how did I get here? I had everything. It was all there. The schools were there. I wasn't daft, I was bright in class. How did I end up here? At that time, I thought I had HIV. I thought I was going to die. The cases I was accused of carried the death penalty. My family had shamed them. I didn't want to see them anymore. What happened? I didn't know I was going to spend the next 24 years inside there. I didn't know the kind of people I was going to find inside there. I didn't know I was going to spend 14 years on death row. And most of all, I didn't know a time would come when I'd stand in front of you. So there are things which I don't really take for granted. Standing here isn't easy. But this is something that I have to. In the hope that if what I can say can help one or two of you, or maybe somebody you may know, to avoid what I went through. That is my joy. That is my pleasure. So I want to thank you for welcoming me to Choto today. And I have come to tell you a story. It's not a discussion. It's a story. Please indulge me. So as I was saying in the beginning, grew up, loving parents, one father, one mother, siblings, 2 girls, were 4 boys. Everything was very okay. You'd have Christmas, go Christmas tree, everything was fine, pray every night. I think my mother was one of the first locally, who would speak in tongues. They'd come and speak in tongues in the room. At times it used to scare me, One time I pretended as though I knew, and they were all very happy with me. I went in a car, they said, oh, Shad is very, very okay. We had friends, family friends, we'd meet, have gatherings. No problem at all. We went into exile during the time of Idi Amin's time. My father used to work in Bank of Uganda. He was in charge of foreign exchange and everything. So they wanted this position, but we had to go to exile. Came back to Uganda, to a different life when we were still young. Joined schools. I told you, Kitate Primary School was one of the best. Met a number of friends inside there from different families. And, at that time, we didn't even know anything about tribalism. Your father's friend is your uncle, everything is fine. We were all good, everything was okay. Life was fine. You have parents who've graduated. It is taken for granted that you've also got to go to university, you've got to graduate. But in that time of where you are, should I call it the Jayden syndrome, where you're young kids, you don't wash clothes at home, they are washing for you. What you want to eat, it is there. You don't know what is you don't know what's on the other side, Everything you take it for granted. So you think going to school is going to school for the sake of going to school. When you're in school, what matters is for you to be amongst the top 3. If you're number 4, then that is a problem. So leaving primary Kitante, I knew I had to go to Budo. So going to King's College Budo, it was that I've gone to Budo. But in my mind, I didn't have my studies in mind or my future in mind. What I was thinking of when I went to Budo is now I'm out of primary school. Nobody is going to tell me that 2 slices of bread are enough for you. I have my case, it is full of grub. I have sugar, I have powdered milk, I have biscuits, I have money, I have whatever. So Jayden is there with a whole box of grub, with money in his pocket, and school to study. But I did not have the hunger or the knowledge or the desire to think about what I wanted to be in the future. You're just taking every day by day. Budo was a mixed school. We learned about girls getting interested. Hey, my father by that time was a member of parliament actually. So money was there, everything was okay. In school, social strata, I was just fine. In my senior 2, it was soon after we'd got holidays. Actually, it was a day after. My dad had bought me a bike, welcoming his son from school. Oh, bullets started. Most of you haven't experienced those things. But in the twinkle of an eye like this, pop, people who had a lot of money like this, my father had a number of buses actually. The government was taken over. The buses were commandeered by other people. From having a lot of money, we went to the brokest of the broken society. I remember one time they were shooting bullets all over the place. We were taking the lights off and hiding under tables. I knocked someone. So I looked up like this. If it was my dad, I knocked, was also looking at me like this. We were under the table facing each other. And I thought to myself, I said, my God, my father is the protector. He's the biggest man I know, the strongest one ever. What are we doing under the table together? He can't protect me. He can't protect himself. I asked myself, where has his education gotten him to? If we are in a state like this, where you fear whether you're going to live or you're going to die. My mother, educated, what is going on? I was young. I think that time I was 13 years old. And I saw to myself, I said, no, this will never happen to me or to my children. I've got to look for a way, a formula, where such a thing cannot happen, where we are safe, where we are protected, no matter whatever is going on in our lives. We had to face change. You know, from going from being rich to being poor is something I don't wish for anybody. And worse, when you're in an elitist school like King's College, Budo. I know people who have been to Budo, they're inside here, they know what I'm talking about. So I went back to Budo. Those of us who had many shoes, now you have one pair. We used to have 4 kilos of sugar, maybe you've moved with 1 kilo. You know, at that young age of mine, I didn't know how to cope. I faced rejection. Where the girls were looking at me before, now they are looking at these new guys, you know, in the new government and whatever. I said, what is going on? Loneliness hit me. Rejection hit me. I remember sitting on my deck and looking, wondering what to do. I didn't have groups like these ones that I felt I could join. My heart was full of anger, pain, rejection. At that time, we had these guys who'd escape to the village to go out and drink. So they'd come back, you know, laughing after preps. They haven't attended preps. They're busy taking their juice, giving us stories of what they were doing. We had a place, but they called it Crystal Palace. I don't know if the name changed where they don't. So the guy said, calling me, you come and we go, you come and we go. I gave in to peer pressure. I was looking for people who could love me, people who could accept me, people who could take me as I am. I said drinking. I said smoking. I advanced it to marijuana. I said causing chaos in school. Strikes and everything. I did not know it at that time, but all I was seeking was attention. Meanwhile, at home things were bad. Money wasn't there. My grades went from bad to worse, but I didn't care. I was trying to just make a name for myself, but I didn't know the repercussions of the choices I was making. It didn't take long before I was suspended from King's College, Budo. Eventually, I was expelled. I got a good taste of kiboko from my father. He was very generous with the cane. Very, but it did not help me much. The rebellion still stuck inside me. I said, no, I'm going to prove that I know what I'm doing, no matter what. Took me to another school. All the character continued inside there. To make matters worse, you talk about, better to be safe. Started indulging in sexual relationships when it was still early. And at that time, it was a very dangerous period. That was a time when HIV was starting to hit Uganda seriously. That was around 1988, 1989. So in 1989, that's when I finished my senior 4. And somebody told me that a girl had had a relationship, had died of HIV. I said, what? The thing sank into my head. The Bible says, I don't talk much about the Bible, but the Bible says that the evil run when nobody is chasing them. So when somebody just told me that, I believed it in my heart. I said, now I'm going to die. Dealing with that was a problem. I couldn't talk to anybody. Those days when they hear somebody has HIV in your home here, people used to pass that road there. Now pass the other side. They believe HIV is airborne. You pass near those people, you're going to get it. You eat from a plate where they are, you'll get it. A mosquito bites you where they are, you are finished. So I sat now with this HIV I have. I said, no, I can't tell my parents. Also them, they are going to run away from me. I can't tell my friends. You can be with friends. Like how you are now. Nobody knows what the hell you are going through. So I started drinking more, started taking drugs more, drowning these demons that were coming into my head all the time. The problem is that with these kind of vices, nobody is going to give you drugs for free. Nobody is going to give you alcohol for free. I started telling lies to my parents. You think of all ways to get money. I was telling kids how I used to have a stock of bulbs at home. I'd pull out the good ones, put in dead ones, and come to my mother. I said, the bulb is dead. She says, hey, you catch money, go and buy another bulb. 2,000, 3,000, maybe it's money. So I go buy my cigarette, something to drink, come back, then replace the bulb that I've bought the bulb. Now it's okay. Nobody be wiser. Lies reach a limit. When your lies are done, Because people, they kuzula you into no alimba. You advance to stealing. So now I said stealing also. Wait for Mzee to come back. In his jacket, he always had money inside this side. So wait, he sits me, I'm busy. Kuvazaring is watching the news. Choo! Go out and what? Go out and drink. That is a life I was living. All the way in school, it was like that. I really thank God that He gave me quite some intellect. You know, you can be clever in class, but a fool elsewhere. I really don't know how I managed to join Makerere University. At that time, you know, it was the only university that we had in the country. When people would finish senior 6, everybody would wait and see. Have I admitted? They'd post the list down here on the main hall. And I had joined to join Lumumba. But with these demons in my head, I thought I had HIV, I was going to die. I thought I had no future. You know, the Bible says, where there's no vision, the people perish. If you are here, I'm telling you, and you don't know what you want in the future, and you are here, you are finished, kabisa. Finished. It's the truth. You know, most people, when you're inside here at Makerere, you tend to judge. But there are some things I learned on campus. As in Lumumba Hall, B111. I had roommates. One of the roommates, my dad like me giving me the example. He came from the village. And me, I was here as a town boy. I had my friends from town. We always had cars. We always going out. You know, we're the cool guys inside here. Actually, I was the first guy to bring a pool table into Makerere University. As I knew taught Makereans how to play pool. They didn't know what pool was. This was in the guild canteen. I was making money from there. The girls had girlfriends from, they are going to listen to me. Okay, but I had girlfriends, friends. You know, these things of the internet, your words always come back to you somehow. But this guy came, he was very serious studying his books all the time. Going to school, going to class. He used to eat maram. I don't know if people still have that term, maram. Maram was the term that we used to give to food. You know what I'm talking about. The food that the university gives. It's posho, if it's a bread, what? We used to call it what? Maram. Now always in our halls of residence, we had also these ladies who would come and sell food. I don't know if they still do it now. So if you see somebody eating maram, joining that line in the morning for maram, it's like you have no class, you have no style, you know. So as would be the hands, you're buying food from this lady, they bring their pirao. And we thought we were cool. You're hanging with the guys, this one is so-and-so son, this one is what and what and what and what. You fail to take measure. This guy who I used to diss when we were sharing the same room, studying his books, not interested in the girls at all. Even the girls are not interested in him at all. You know? It's a truth. But as I speak now, I have tried to meet this guy, I don't know how many, like 3 or 4 times. He's a minister in the government. A long line. If he tells you the way he grew up, or what he went through, the hardship that he went through, you cannot believe it. You can be here, you don't know the person who's next to you, who is going to be tomorrow, you know. I had an unfortunate incident some time back. The rain hit me, I was on a border. And we are coming down a golf course near a golf club. So the border told me, it's too much now, we have to take shelter here. So went there with the other plebeians at the gate of Uganda golf course. So I'm there. Other former friends of mine who are now the chairman of Uganda Golf Club, everything, you know. So they're driving in their big cars and what. Me, I'm looking at them trying to hide my face. These are people we used to hang out with on campus. Yeah. We used to go for parties with. We used to have fun with. My choices took me one direction. Their choices took them another direction. Don't diss anybody who you're with here, my friends. And you don't know the person who is next to you, what is going to be tomorrow. You're a Emerging Leaders Conference. You're the leaders of tomorrow. It is not a joke. I wish I knew that. I wish I had valued the friendships, treasured the friendships that I had inside here. I didn't. And as a result of my choices. I lost all. And when I say all, I say it with a capital A-L-L. I lost all my friends. I got my first child when I was here on campus. I had a girlfriend who had a lot of hopes in me. I disappointed her. No, I'm warning you girls, by the way. You're here with these guys, they look cool here and what and what and what. Remember? What future is he going to give you? You know? They arrested me, my kid was like 6, 7 months old. I left those ones in pain. I left the family in pain. Because of things I was doing, looking for money here and there and all that kind of stuff. You know? A friend of mine died. I was accused of having some involvement in that. I was dealing in stolen cars, taking them abroad. They arrested me live. You know? Those of you who like movies are seen out of Fast and Furious. But they don't show the kibokos and the what. The torture and the pain that you get when they get you. You know? They put me inside. Before that, by the way, I'd been arrested and released. My father didn't have money that time, but he wanted a future for his son. So he went and borrowed money and said, no, my son, you go abroad and study. Go and focus, build your life. I told him I have a child, I can't leave my child. He said, no. You go 3 years, you're not going to lose anything. 3 years is just a short time. Concentrate on your books, build yourself. You'll come back, you'll be able to take care of the kid for the rest of your life. I said, Dad, he doesn't know what he's talking about. In addition to the fact that at that time, universities would want to know, before you have to go for a university, they want to know that you're HIV negative. If you're HIV positive, they can't let you in. So I thought to myself, I said, now here I got this university. If they say I'm HIV positive, they're going to send me back. And at the same time, I can't tell my father that I'm HIV positive. What are they going to say for me? I said, So sitting in my stupidity, with no mentors, no whatever, got my alcohol and my weed, I took and I thought of what to do. And I got a solution. I said, now, what you do? You get a ticket as though you are going. They make stopover somewhere. Stopover, you get out, you know. You'll be like Schwarzenegger in Commando. So I got a ticket, stopover in Nairobi. I said, go ahead. I'm going to start my own life. I thought I was smart. Mind you, by that time, what I had been feeding my mind with were all the wrong things. So I talk to kids these days and I say, be careful what you feed in your mind. The music you listen to, the movies you listen to. I thought the only way to survive in life was not by studying, was not by going to church or anything. It was by being mafia style. Crime was the way to go. That's what I told my mind. You know, so many people say that crime pays. Into your college, no, whatever innocent. This one has done this. So I said, let me go to Kenya and start. I'll start my own business, start my own cartel. So I got off there. I had money, school fees, what. You know, when you're young and you have this little money, you can think it's a lot of money. I got friends who were hanging out, doing everything, enjoying life to the fullest. But in no time at all, the money got finished. The friends, I don't know where they went. I found myself alone, you know. How you can walk alone at night looking for where you can sleep, you know. Looking for a corridor, looking for cardboard. Cardboard becomes so valuable. I sit in a place called Uhuru Park. There's a restaurant nearby, and the smell, that one would kill me. The smell of that food. What would I be able to afford that time is like a cup of dry tea, you know, they call majan chai, and these small buns, they call them what? Mana kava. Hunger. That's why I said in the Bible that the prodigal son was smart. The prodigal son knew his father's heart. He knew, once I go back home, my father will welcome me and he'll give me food. I didn't know that. I struggled somehow. I came back to Kampala. But I couldn't go home. Something draws you, but you can't get there. I remember I used to go to the fence, I'd sneak, and peep at my family members from the fence. I'd look at my mother in the kitchen, look at my sister, look at my brothers. They're all living their lives, and I couldn't cross there. the shame, the pain, the regret. I couldn't face it. And I pulled myself back. I did not know they were willing to welcome me, I pulled myself back. I rejected myself, condemned myself. I said, now it's time to go deeper and deeper into crime. That's my life. So that's when we went into stealing cars and all that kind of thing. In no time at all, I was arrested, taking one, I said, God, what? I was supposed to go abroad now. I'm going back to prison. They took me to the cells. I just wanted to die. You're having that death wish. I didn't want to see anybody, but the police also taking me from one cell to another, to another, to another. And before I knew it, I was taken to prison as a consequence of my choices. Your parents can give you everything. Your teachers, your lecturers can give you everything. Right now, you have everything. But what you do with your choices, believe me, is going to determine whether you're like some friends of mine now at the golf club relaxing, or in their houses and their families, or you'll end up like me who doesn't have a plot of land at all. I've got to wake up and hustle every day, look for school fees for my children. Things that I've settled if I had been calm, patient, focused in the very few years that I have inside him. But I had no desire. I had no goal. I was living life just higa-haga. It's just one day. I was like you people. You can sit here with friends. Let me tell you, you don't know what people who are here are going through. One day, just all of a sudden, they pulled me out. Poop! All my friends in university were saying, hey, what has happened to this one? What is shut up to? As this friend was telling me that, hey, the papers are saying this and this and this. Nobody wants to know if it is true or not. We're saying this is the man we are with every day. This is the man we are eating with. This is the man we are drinking with. This is the man we are laughing with. The girls, this is the man who was dating us. This is a fellow. You can be next to somebody and you don't know that person. You can be next to someone you don't know what they are going through. You've had people committing suicide. There was someone saying, there's a guy yesterday. I heard the guy killed himself. You don't know what is going on. Choices. Choices, choices, choices. It's a little thing I want to share with you. Choices and consequences. I ended up in prison. They closed the door behind me. Pop. Jaden in prison. I think they should make a movie. I got inside there. I saw a class of people I did not know existed in my life. I thought everybody had electricity. I thought everybody grew up having food. I thought everybody had gone to school. That wasn't the case. These are the type of people who are there. And it's unfortunate that the majority of prisoners in Uganda, they are either poor or illiterate, uneducated. Let's talk of an example of a man who used to sell weed in the prison, and he used to get, people would come with medicine from the hospital. Medicine for malaria, he'd take medicine for TB, they'd give him. So he had a container where he was putting all of these drugs. Yellow, blue, white, everything there. So one time he got sick and he didn't want to go to the hospital. So he opened his container and started pulling out one yellow one, one red one green one what. So I looked at the guy, I said, guy, what's up with you? He said, I'm sick, I'm going to take medicine. I said, do you know what you are taking? He said, this is what? This is medicine. So I'm going to swallow. That level of ignorance. I looked at the fellow. It is from prison that I realized how I had wasted my whole life. It is people, I think, from poor, struggling backgrounds who can value the simple things that mean a lot. Who can value time spent in class, time reading, the little money that they have. Then you find those of us who grew up with everything. Your concern, you're in university, is what kind of car am I driving? If I go with a Raum to Mary Stewart, they're going to laugh at me. I've got to get a Harrier, new model, then that is what is in your mind. Not knowing the value of what it is that you have. I found it from inside there. The unfortunate bit was that I thought now still I was completely finished, there's nothing to do. So let me just as well kill myself. Went deeper into drugs, looking for drugs in the prison. Got a gang of fellow drug takers, there were thieves, robbers, killers, all kinds of people. We formed a gang, we used to call it Jupiter, and I was the chairman. Street kids, everything. What I'm telling you, I know. You go to prison and you talk about Jupiter, they'll tell you that is the name they gave me. So I'd sit and smoke weed every day. Sit and talk. What do you think we're talking about? Things that are beneficial? Nothing. Life went from bad to worse. My mother is struggling coming to see me. She brings me sugar, nuts. My sister sending me some money. It goes for weed. I was dead. I thought there was no redemption. There was no hope, no future. So I was thinking from bad to worse, and that's a problem most of us face. I was saved by one gentleman. Actually, there are two events. I hope, have I run out of time? Eh? No, I haven't. There are two events that saved me. In 1999, I had been in prison that time for 4 or 5 years. When I got into prison, actually, around 2-3 months afterwards, they executed. There were 3 people, 9 people. I think there were 9 people. I said, these things are serious. Now in 1999, I was undergoing the court process and what things were delaying. Now here they came and executed 28 people. You are sitting there, you have seen them taking people and everything. I said, these things where they are going. Me, I'm not waiting for that one. I have HIV, you had me to sit here, then face this and whatever. I had a friend of mine, you know when you're smoking weed, you get so many ideas. You think you are Superman or Spider-Man. So we planned on how to escape. My friend was a serious escapee. But him was in a ward where he was under guard. They were looking at me as a student. They thought I had a bit of discipline. So the night came, I made my move. Got out of my cell without them knowing after being counted. I had planned to hide somewhere. The place I went to first, I found it was locked. It was dark like this. Went to another place, it was locked, plan B. I said, now what do I do? I went to my friend, talked to him through his cell bars. He told me, there's a place you hide in Amufreje somewhere down here. You didn't what everything was. I was high, definitely. So I went into that place and I took cover, not knowing that these prison guards had been monitoring me. They came, they grabbed me. And when they grab you trying to escape in prison, you know you're going to have your kneecaps, your ankles, everything broken. You're going to be in cell solitary confinement for a good period of time. The time when I wanted to escape, I was planning on either dying or getting out. And even getting out, I had nowhere to go. I was just looking for death, everything to end. You shoot me and life is over. I was that desperate. They took me to one of the toughest prisons officers that night. I knew I was finished. But in the midst of that thing, I cried out to God. I said, God, you help me. I'm just tired. I'm tired. They took me to this guy. They checked me. I had around 4 sticks of weed. I had like 20,000 shillings and a few cigarettes. They said, asking me that, what is it? Were you trying to escape? I said, me had left my weed down there. I'd gone to collect it. These people came now, finding me there. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. He said, in your cell block, do they know you're outside? I said, yes, I know I'm outside. He said, come and we go. So he said, walking. I knew now we go to the cell block and they find I'm counted inside. This guy is going to look at me as a very big criminal. In my heart, I just had something telling me, you tell him the truth. So I told the guy, half truth. I said, it is true I was trying to escape. He said, what? How can you escape from here? Where do you pass? Where do you whatever? Me, I'd got my route. So I said, telling him, me, I took this weed. A voice told me, you get up and go. What? They're acting like a, confused fellow. Anyway, make a story short. This guy took me outside my cell block. He asked the guards who were there, have you finished counting? Yeah, they said yes. Is everybody in? They said yes. He said, what about this one? And then he did something I never expected. He told them, you open the door, let him go and sleep. I left my bed that day knowing there's no way I was going back. And I found myself back in my bed. That is the first time I broke down and cried in prison. Like, my heart was filled with emotions. I just wanted to die. And God, you're keeping me alive. Soon after that, people came inside the prison to test for HIV. I thought I had HIV all along. I said, let me go and test it. I'm going to die. Let me confirm. I went to test for HIV. The man who thought he'd been positive since senior 4, I was as negative as I don't know what. I asked myself, God, what is the problem here? Yeah? You made me think I'm dead when I'm outside. Now I come inside here where I'm going to die, and then you are telling me that I'm alive. You know? I failed to understand the whole thing. I was confused in that period of time, really, really confused. But in the midst of that time, I met a gentleman. This gentleman had always been trying to reach out to me. He was a friend of my father. He was in prison also. His family, the children had grown up together. And he was concerned about me, but I didn't have time for him. He's a man, I don't know, a few of you may know him. He's called Chris Rakasisi. He was in prison also for some time. And he was also on death row. This gentleman started calling me to him. We'd sit down, we'd discuss. He'd give me newspapers to read. He'd give me books to read. He never, ever told me at any one time to stop smoking marijuana. He just showed me that he cared. He showed me he had value. He showed me another kind of life. It was something, I think, I compare it only maybe like to the Count of Monte Cristo or something. Slowly by slowly with my interactions with this gentleman, my heart started changing. There's somebody who was saying expectations. He was wondering about how people can get redemption. My heart started changing. He started teaching me Bible. He started teaching me what. Before I knew it, my cell, my cell was a place where people would smoke weed with no fear of God's, coming for them. I told them, I tell you guys, me weed, I've had enough of that. You go and smoke somewhere else. They said calling me a coward, things like that, But there I went, started praying, all of this kind of thing. And slowly by slowly, my life changed. That is how I stopped taking drugs. I thought at that time that, God, maybe this is what he wants. Now he's going to get me out of here. I went to court and everything. God still had other plans for me. By his grace, I was condemned to die. Being condemned to die, that one wasn't an easy one. Because the percentage of people, if you are condemned by the first court, getting out by the second or the third is almost impossible. I went there, I found also another group of people who've given up hope, people who, at times you compare a condemned section here with the condemned section like America or something. But what you find in condemned section of Uganda are people who are from the village, people who got problems in the mob justice or something. We don't have serial killers as those people portray. People who I don't know how I can explain. But when I was in prison all that time, I felt that I was the worst criminal. Because all of these people, if they had the choices or the chances that I had, there's no way they could what? They could be there. I want to summarize, but I'll tell you about 2 stories of people who are inside there for another reason. When you look at prisoners, all of you take it that prisoners are guilty. And then you can hear about a case. There's a case of a fellow who he was brought to condemn. Condemn, we rarely condemn people. But this guy was brought to condemn. He had one eye. He was swollen all over, oozing pus and everything. What happened is that he had poured acid on a lady who unfortunately died. And as he was running away, they found him with this remaining acid and poured it on him himself very carefully. When he came in to condemn, nobody wanted to be near him. He was disgusting to look at. He was smelling, he was everything, which was rare. And he eventually committed suicide and killed himself. Why this man's story was strange is hearing about such a story, you immediately condemn such a fellow. You say he deserves to die, he doesn't deserve to live. What he committed is where you start and stop. But this was a boy who I had met like around 2 years before. He was a boy from Kavale, from the village. He joined the army when he was still young, trying to get a living. He slept with a young girl, I think around 16. So he was first arrested for defilement and brought into the prisons. In the prisons, he was a football player. Everybody liked him. He ended up meeting friends. You know, capital offenders, defilement, they put it as one of them. So they lock up defilement, people with murderers, robbers, thieves, and everything. So the guy, the time he was in prison, he met people who were teaching him that, hey, you as a prisoner, you know, you should use your gun, you make money. They talk about hundreds of millions of shillings inside there. The guy was released shortly afterwards, and he went out. The society wasn't ready to welcome him. He turned to these friends of his. You know, prisoners leave prison with phone numbers and everything. They took him into that business. In 6 months' time, he was back. A once handsome boy, had one eye. You know, his whole life was destroyed, and he had to kill himself. There are people who commit crimes, yes. People who need to be punished, yes. But all of these people at one time were innocent people. All of these people one time, they say that every sinner was once a saint, and every saint was once a sinner. The crime, yes, it has to be punished. But can we, as emerging leaders, my play on behalf of, can we try and look at the person? And think if we had built a society where things were different, this boy wouldn't have got to that level. Another story is of another man who was inside there on death row. He was there for around 18 years. His story was different because he was there with his son. In Condemn, we don't tell lies. If you want to talk about your case, you talk about it, but you speak the truth. This man professed his innocence with his son all the way until they took him to die in 1999. When they were up there, of course, they keep people for 3 days before they execute you. Singing, praying, he's sending notes down. He's saying, we are innocent, we are going to die for free. But each day they had hope, they are saying, hey, we hear Amnesty International, talk to the president, they may release us, what and what. Until all hope was gone. And he said, we hope this thing ends with us. There are people in prison who are innocent and are there. But because they lack help, the lawyers who are inside here, you know, they lack money. They lack an education. They are inside there. Forgive me, I don't know if I'm digressing, but I really feel a need to tell you people who are going to be leaders tomorrow. You are the MPs tomorrow, you are the members of parliament tomorrow, you are the judges tomorrow. I didn't know it when I was here. I was with friends of mine who I thought were just friends. But now there are so many whose offices I cannot step in. You're the ones who are going to be in charge of these things. But are you going to study for the sake of studying? Or are you going to study so that you can help other people who need what it is that you're getting from here? What is it that we are doing inside here? You know? So I was with these people, I learned a different kind of life. I got a chance of helping us. Somebody was talking about the Chigula case, where we started working and, you know, fighting to overturn the death penalty. We failed, but we got a chance to go for mitigation where you ask for forgiveness. Don't talk about innocence. And have your years reduced. So I was fortunate enough. I had my years reduced to 35 years. And I did the 35 years. I did actually 24. You take off time for good behavior, and then I was released. Coming out into the society, it wasn't easy. Or it isn't easy. It's present continuous, not past tense. You know, it's like jumping from the frying pan into the fire. Condemnation, stigma, rejection. There's also self-condemnation inside of you. I couldn't move anywhere without a cup or glasses, even to hide myself. I wonder it's just by God's grace that I'm standing in front of you here today. Getting where to stay, getting where to live, getting to start a life, getting to work was all a problem, an uphill struggle. I thank God for helping me. But I had my friends who are inside there who are coming out also facing these same things. You find some come a few days, they are taken back. So somehow, they used to look at me as a leader, and that's how I started the organization that I did. which is mainly to help ex-inmates, reintegrate into society, get them skilled, get them, counseled, get them, try and help them to come back and see if they can help society. At the same time, to help young people, like you, because you're young people. People used to call me baby. They now call me uncle, The years have just gone like that. So all of you, I called you young people, to help you. That you never know, there's somebody who's going through challenges right now. They may not be the same ones that I did. They may be a lady struggling with stuff. But please, your choices really matter. Are we together? I don't have much to say, but I just wanted to leave you with 3 things. Choices. However small those things are, they can take you very far, or they can destroy your life. The good thing is that if you make bad choices to get into a bad place, you can say enough is enough. And from there, make some good choices that will take you to a better place. Number 2, it is at your environment, the company you keep, the people that you are with, believe me, they matter in your lives. And you people who are in Makerere University, you're at a junction, at a crossroads. You have choices that you are making here every day. The people you spend your time with, what you spend your time doing, what you invest in. You can go for temporary pleasure, but where is it going to take you? So your environment is really going to affect your future. And number 3, there's no case that is beyond redemption. If I can do what I did, go to where I got to, stuck into that one, and I can come out here and be able to address you, there's nobody who is beyond hope. So never give up. Those are a few of the things I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, I'll be welcome. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, our speaker. As he has said, it is your choices that can take you from grace to grave, or from grass to grace. There are 2 things. From grace to grave, or from grass to grace. So it is your choices. What you choose is what you get. Thank you very much, our speaker. I personally, when I was listening, I reached a point and broke down. But the conclusion, at least I'm happy that he was saved and is here with us. That's the greatest thing. That I think that needs a very big round of applause. Staying in prison for those years and come back and you are able to speak to a congregation like this needs another kind of energy. At this point of time, we're going to welcome questions and lessons. What have you learned from the speaker's story? And if you have any question that you would want to ask him, because I believe there are those who are facing those same challenges. You are there battling with drug addiction. You are battling with rejection. He has experienced all those, and I believe he has better answers to that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, my co-MC for tonight. I would like to request all of us to again thank our speaker. Thank you so much, sir. It is really hard for everyone to stand here and tell us such a story, yeah? Some of us are very emotional that you cannot even start speaking about such things. Maybe you break down in the middle, but what a strong man. Thank you very much. And I believe that we've learned or picked some things. I'd like to welcome Dr. Sandra Kisuma, the lecturer at Corners. Thank you so much for coming. You're welcome. And I would also like to welcome our leaders. We have very many leaders here, and I'd like to say thank you for being good examples. We have our Prime Minister, we have the speakers here, both the Deputy and the Speaker. We have the Deputy Prime Minister, we have the GRCs, we have the class representatives, We have the leaders of associations. Thank you very much for coming. Right about now, before we go for Q&A, I think everyone has gotten the logistics. And if you haven't received, they are coming. Don't worry. Yeah, everyone will get. So we're going to go for questions and answer. We are going to be receiving 5 people at a go. You ask a question, and then our keynote speaker is going to answer. Thank you very much. If you have a question. No. Questions. So if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. 5 people at a go. I'm going to start with a lady right here with me. She has a burning question. Let her first ask, and then we go on.
So my name is Jakisa Charity. I'm a BBS student and General Secretary for the Safe Clubs. So now this is to the student community, and the question is direct to your wife. Yes. Okay. It's from an experience from the Global Leadership Summit. Thank you, Madam Betty, for inviting me. We have... Your husband came from the prison. He was a drug dealer. And we also have students in our community around that are facing those same problems. They are going to rehab centers. And he came back to the community. How well did you... I would like to know what you went through to accept him back into your life, just like the students here, because we would like to also help the other students around us, like to be accepted. She's a friend. Oh, she's a friend, eh? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay. Adam Mwade, by force.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for your question, but thanks for pushing me to speak. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Olive Nakite and Sarah Olive. I'm Shad's friend here. I'm a lawyer, a transactional lawyer, specifically insurance. I give me all commercial law matters. I love money. I'm born again. I'm a believer. I go to Christ Church. I met Shad through a friend, another lawyer. Yeah. I don't know if people here have read his book. I know we've listened to him, but allow me to push you to please get his book. Kindly get his book. I know you've listened to the story, but when you read the book, you'll get the real feel. Since I'm here speaking, allow me to go further. One thing I'll say is we are all potential criminals, something I know from law school and practice. We are all potential criminals. All you need is to get the right circumstances, to be put in someone else's shoes. You might look at Chad and say, this man, how is he here? How is he out here? Are we safe? You might have questions. You might wonder, are we really safe having people out here? Did they really make the right decision letting him out? But put yourself in his shoes. Give yourself the exact circumstances he was in, and you'll be the perfect, maybe a worse person than he was. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak to you. Thank you so much for coming out. Maybe some of you had questions like, should I even go? Is this guy worth listening to? But thank you for giving him the opportunity to minister to you. Another thing I'll say about his book is when you read it, you realize what he said about choices was true, because when you look at the paths his friends took and the one he took, I'm glad he's out. Myself, I saw law students here, and when I read Chad's book, I told him when we were studying about death row, we didn't really understand the right to life. We're thinking, okay, the right to life. Like, everyone has the right to life. When we heard about death row, we're thinking, obviously, those ones deserve to die. The way he talked about the other guy, we're thinking, the law is the law. We didn't really think about people's lives at the time. We didn't really think, how does this really affect people? What if it's someone I know? What if it's me? because I also have a life. What if it's my brother? What if Shad is your cousin? I don't know. We didn't really think about it that much. We didn't dig into what does this really mean. So at the time, we were just studying for the sake. I mean, I'm a law student. I have the obligation to learn this. But we didn't really think, are there really people on death row? Are there people dying? How does it affect them? How does it affect their mental health? What does it mean to their families? What does it mean to the nation? So I encourage all of you to get his book. Please get the book. What he spoke here might be maybe 10% of what's in the book. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. Thank you so much. I wish you the best time at campus. I wish you the best time afterwards. I wish you the best futures.
Thank you very, very much. Another round of applause. So my sister had mistaken her for being the wife, but we've come to know that she's actually a friend. Thank you so much. And she's a lawyer. Lawyers in the building, how are you? Your colleague is here in case you need anything or any advice. Yeah, so we are, a moment, if you want a copy of the book.
The copy is here. It goes for 50,000 Ugandan shillings.
What is the title there?
It is called Living Lies, From Death Row to Life is Purpose.
And another thing is that if you want this book, or if you want a copy, you pay the money and then you make an order, then you find the books in the office, in the advancement office. Are we together? For more information, you can still ask. So we're going to go forward with the question and answer. We had a lady, I need a gentleman.
There's one right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Good evening to you all.
Very serious.
Yeah, you'll forgive the way I'm so dressed up, but I got to know about this event late, so I chose to come the way I was.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to miss. So my first question is very simple because I joined in late. I wanted to know the name of our speaker because I'm hearing everyone is just saying Shad, and I'm like, so I want to know the full name, so that maybe, yeah. Then the next thing is what I have learned. Mine is a lesson.
Okay.
So from what he has said, I have gotten to understand that either way, a sacrifice has to be made, depending on the choices you make. If you make the wrong choices right now, you sacrifice your future with an illusion that you're enjoying right now, and yet you're sacrificing your future. And if you make the good choices, then that means you're destined for a great future. Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. We didn't get your name.
My name is Mukasa Shafiq Katehangwa, Year 1 representative for the Makere Engineering Society.
Year 1 Zoe. Thank you so much for coming. Another question?
Thank you very much, Madam Letitia. I'm called Joshua Rwa Kampala. I'm a second year student. I'm a social scientist. Of course, that is from CHUS. I'm a proud North Quarter. North Quarter! North Quarter! Esibiro! Ekurumo! Osajefo! Machirori Popo! Hello. So, thank you very much, Mr. Shadrach. My question is just simple. Choices we make or we made are multidimensional. Some are complex, others are nuanced. So, and we believe when you're above 18, as the Constitution clearly amended it, 1995, when you're above 18, we think we can make our own choices and decisions as well. So sometimes we make decisions, our choices, and we think they are the best. And all along, they turn to be our sad expectations or stories later. So how better can we sit and brainstorm or loop the best ideas that can make us make good choices that cannot be of regret. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I want a lady right
There's
there.
one here.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Teresa Tracy Mbavazi. I'm in my year 3 doing quantity surveying, and I'm also the GRC School of Built Environment at SEDET. So mine is not a question, but rather a compliment. Mr. Shadrach, you've been so eloquent in your story. As much as I've been moving up and down, I was listening, and I got so inspired by the fact that even when you went through a lot, like that valley had quite a lot, one would have given up, another would have, I don't know, done dreadlocks and been on the streets, sleep under bridges, but you not only came up and survived that storm, but you didn't even just survive it. You lived through it, and right now you're able to listen to your story. Thank you so much for coming up and telling us, because I know some of us have these friends or ourselves that are going through these trying times. So thank you so much for coming.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable GRC. So far, we have 2 people. This one has given a compliment and then gave us a lesson. So we have 1 question. So I'm going to get a gentleman right next to me.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Honorable Letitia. My name is Amanya Kennedy. I serve in the Central government as the 91st GRC of people with disabilities. I'm in Sadia, of course. I'm from North Scott. Hello, Scotto. Hello, Scotto. Ra. My question is, amidst all the challenges you passed through while in prison, what kept you moving to the extent that you're now at the level of being called to address Makerelians? And another thing, just because you write books, I would like to know how best can I share my number with you. I also yes, I don't know whether you share with common students. I also share with you a book entitled What I Saw When I Died by Jim Spire. I say how best I can deliver it to you. Thank you so much. Hello, Scotto.
North Kotoy.
Oi.
North Kotoy.
Oi.
Handsome men. Oi. Hello. Thank you so much, Honorable Kennedy, for that question. And I know that you're going to get the number before we go.
Yeah.
That point is crucial. So we're going to get a 3rd question from a lady.
And lady?
I'm trying to do gender balance.
There's a lady here.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Amompire Denise, a student of industrial psychology, so I belong to CHOOS. My question to Mr. Shadrach is that, first of all, I would want to acknowledge the Emerging Leaders Program for bringing people who can speak to us and remind us that some things are not the end of life.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So, Mr. Shadrach, that death row, I'm going to ask some little questions as a psychologist, because I believe life is all about psychology. So, first of all, from what I've heard in your story is that it stems from childhood. But these circumstances weren't of your own making, though they shaped your future that you didn't like. My question in that way is that, did you ever change the negative perception or the negative self-image of yourself? And if yes, how? Because there are people, I think, who have had terrible things done to them in their childhood, and they have chosen the negative path because they see when something bad happens to you, you have to become ruthless, step on everyone, do the worst things, because that's what the world expects of you, according to society. So I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. We are going to have one gentleman, and then we shall have our speaker answer the first round of questions.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ampere Tobias. I'm a second year student doing BCom. So my question to our keynote speaker is, as youth, like for us, we have a belief that if you don't do, like in most cases, things which are like bad, or like you will not have a story to tell in the future. So how can you address that kind of belief? Or okay, that's it.
Well, thank you very, very much. One very last one as the speaker prepares to answer the questions.
Thank you very much. My name is Gera Eric, and I'm the GRC for School of Health Sciences. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Magara, for such a wonderful story you've given to us. But personally, as I was actually reading through the poster which was shared, and everything that was shared to publish this event, I really wanted to be interested in two things. One, how did you get into prison and charged with the issue of being involved in the murder act? Then two, when you got out of the prison, how did your family receive you? What was their perception upon you? Thank you very much. Those have been my questions.
All right, thank you very much. Now we are going to listen from the speaker as he answers the first round, and then we shall have the second, last round.
Merci beaucoup. These questions you guys asking, reminding me I need to go back to school. First, someone asked about my name. I'm called Shadrach Magara, right? There's a young man who said he'd come in later on. Maybe I'll see you before I move out. Then somebody else asked about, in brief, how can we make better choices? One thing I've got to tell you is that I'm an expert, but I'm an expert at failure. Because up to today, honestly, I still have problems making choices. I still do. And one thing I realized, that one of my biggest problems was the people you surround yourself with and what you put into your head. We need to learn how to make informed choices. Who do you consult when you want to do something? What is inside your head that is going to direct you? When I was young at your age, what was directing me were movies, or I was high, friends around me. It is not until, as I told you, I got to prison that I got a mentor, which mentor really helped save my life. And I do talks now, we do talks with youth groups, we talk in schools and what. Excuse me. And one thing which I really emphasize, talk really about, is the need of a mentor. Who is your friend? Who's advising you? Who wants what is good for you? You need to somebody you can consult. But you on your own, sitting and thinking you're going to do the right thing, you're always bound to get into a problem here or there. So spiritual guidance, mentorship from people who really care about you, I believe is one major way in which you can make better choices in this journey called life. Nobody is an expert. Don't think I'm standing here in front of you today and I'm saying that, for me I've learned. My choices are all very okay. I give you an example. When I was in prison, I used to head religious groups inside there. We are very spiritual because we knew any time we are dying, you are praying here, the gallows are up there. So we'd get visitors coming from outside. We say, we are saved now. God, me, I've left women, I've left alcohol, everything. There's a man used to ask us that, did you have women inside? Yeah, we say, Is there alcohol here? And how do you know you have left? So I came from prison outside here, Ruhanga Wanje. I was telling these people here, I went to a salon to cut my hair. I thought it was those things of ours. You get clippers, they cut. The girl said, touching in my ear. What? I said, just jumping like this. Look at her in the mirror. I said, this one. No, she's touching. This man hasn't had a woman touch him for I don't know how long. 25 years, 24 years, my friend. Even wondering if things were still working. So, I said that. Okay. So, like choices every day. All right? We can't deny them. You ask even elders, don't you have a problem with choices every day? How to handle children, how to handle your finances, how to handle everything. So nobody has it made, Bana. We are just learning from each other. That's why I'm here. I'm not coming here to pontificate. I'm not coming here to lecture. I'm just coming here to share. Hoping that in whatever my faults, my failures, my strengths, we can all learn something from one another. Now, the next question somebody was asking, did you ever change the negative self-image of yourself? I love her. It's a very perceptive thing. Standing in front of you is not easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Apart from standing in front of All Saints Cathedral, which was the church I grew up in. Full of people, you find people who could know you, people who've condemned you all their life. You're coming out of there, what bullshit. I beg your pardon, forgive my language. Well, it's okay. Okay, cool. Well, what are you coming to tell these people? I didn't tell you one thing, that when I was removed from death row, I had around 6-7 years to finish. So I asked for permission to be taken to another prison, which was at maximum security. Death row, spent like 14 years without seeing the moon. See the moon like that one? That was a treasure. So I got transferred to Ginger Main Prison. And because of all those years of inactivity, I really wanted to work. So I begged, I said, please, OC, let me go and work with these people. He said that, you're an educated man, you sit here, in your uniform, teach people computer, we learned how computer from there, I said, no, I want to work. I insisted and insisted, then they made me join a carpentry section. I went, I learned carpentry with these people. But carpentry section was a mobile party. When there's work that needs to be done near the prison, you're the ones they call. They take us to go out and get rice from the lake. Standing in the water with fish moving around me. I'd stand and enjoy myself. People would look at me as though I'm mad. They didn't know what I was experiencing. They used to take us to go and dig. Jaden has never dug in his life, apart from agricultural lessons in school. So people had to bring hose, people run for long hose. They leave the short ones for me. I don't know, I pick. Going to go and dig, you start one garden too. I see people with a bucket. I say, bucket for what? They had to bring water. You say, have we finished? There's another one. People, the askaris will say, you sit down, you're an educated man. But I know, you sit, you have no peace with prisoners. You have to earn respect. So I had to work harder than them. I used to go in sneakers. They started laughing at me that, you what kind of man are you? You are softy. So I take off the sneakers, they say, you go and dig there. Kumbe where they are taking me, there are thorns there, there are snakes. Me, I'm busy jumping, jump from one to the other. But I did work with these people. They took us to swamps getting reeds. They took us making bricks, carrying them. Eventually, they gave me cows to look at. They also thought I'm a man from the West, I not look after cows. I've never looked after cows in my life. They take the cows into the lake, then I think they are going to drown. I call them back. Kumbe they want to drink. I'm running after one here, another one is going there. What I'm trying to say is, I spent part of my life as a houseboy of prison guards. You can look at prison guards, they look as though they don't have money at all. But as their houseboy, they called me, you come and take this here. Call me, take that one there. It was a very, 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 very humbling experience. Very humbling experience. For somebody who takes himself as top of a social strat, now you are here. And it really helped me. It really helped me. So, Madam Psychologist, you're asking me about the image I have of myself. To tell you the truth, I don't know what I am. I have no idea. People have asked me to go for counseling. I don't know whether I'm normal. I don't know whether what I'm doing is a normal thing or a right thing, or I'm just mad even to stand in front of you. You know, I'm just doing what I feel I have to do. I hope it will make sense. But really examining inside my head with what I've been through, I have no idea. The only person who's helping me is God. I'm just trying to find my identity in Him and to do what it is He wants. Because one thing that helped me is when I left prison, I told myself one thing. I said, I'm going to do the right thing. If I come here and people abuse me, what's this idiot come and tell us what this one in you know this? I'm watching my language. It is okay as long as I'm doing what I feel is the right thing. So in that process, maybe somehow I will find myself. But it is a day-to-day struggle. Day-to-day struggle. How to live with my children, how to live in my home, how to live with people around me. It's hard to relate with friends. It is, or maybe you can give me your number and then where is she? Then we can do some counseling maybe sometime when I get out of here. Thank you. Then another question was, you need, a gentleman who's saying you need to be bad and have a story to tell. Believe me, young man, do you want us to exchange places? You want us to exchange places? You have a future, Bwana. You are a young man. You are not even married, you know. You have a chance to be able to listen to people who can guide you and you choose the right kind of woman you can marry. You have a chance to become the president of this country if you want to, you know. You still have a six-pack. Mine went away a long time ago, you know. So having a story to tell, you are telling who? These guys who are inside here. Nobody is going to buy for me lunch tomorrow. Okay, if you made that one, I'll be very happy. I'm trying to give for my brokenness something that can help you. But it's not that it is of benefit to me. Only thing is the Bible says you become smaller and smaller while it becomes bigger and bigger. That's what I'm doing, God in His own way. I hope may turn things around and help me resurrect part of the life I destroyed. Telling a story, man, you don't have to go through it. My father said, and let me leave you with this one. He always used to tell me that experience is the best teacher. But it's a teacher for fools. A wise person, once they tell you something, you learn. Mara moja nasikia na ikamata, mara moja tu. But an idiot, they tell you go there's a snake which will bite you, and let me go there and then I see what is there. And it bites you and you come back and tell a story, you say, I found a snake, it bit me here, you see. No. It isn't worth it. That pain isn't worth it. Please avoid it. Then there's another person who's asking me two questions. One is, how did I get into prison? And then two, when you got out of prison, how were you received? How did I get into prison? In the beginning, I said, that is not why I'm here. There's certain things that touch many people. There's certain things that hurt many people. You know, like I told you prisoners come out, everybody saying innocent. I'm not saying innocent. I'm not saying guilty. What I'm saying is that I've done wrong things in my life. All right? I don't really have to go into that one, you know, and then, you know, bring out other issues. The road that I walk is a very narrow one. So in trying to give the message that I'm trying to give, please understand that mine is complicated. Are we together? We're not going to that. Just know that I went inside there. I was arrested for this and that one. What happened? That is for God. You know, God and me, it is, you know, Him who can see, who can judge. I'm no longer seeking validation. I'm no longer seeking whatever. All I do is I have a message that I want to give out for you people who I don't want to go there. Then you're asking, number two, how was I received when I got out? One thing I didn't say is that my father died when I was in prison. I have a sister who died when I was in prison. Actually, my father died after blasting me. He came to prison, he'd got a heart problem, and he was mad at me. So he talked a lot, telling me of all the problems I caused him ever since, and blamed me for his heart issue. My mother was telling him, "Otabi Mugamba, Mureke, Mureke, you tell him when he's released." My father said, "No, let me tell him." I did not know that he was going to die after 2 days. I was in prison, someone with a newspaper came and said, "Hey, isn't this your father, this one?" The man had died. And part of what I do as I dedicated my book to him is, part of where I'm standing here, is I'm trying to say, I'm sorry. Okay? Wherever he is, I'm sorry. Okay? So you ask why I'm doing what I'm doing. Not that I'm coming, that anybody coming here, you pay 10K or whatever. I'm trying to make amends. I'm trying to say, I'm sorry. To my father, to my family, to my friends, to my children, to the whole community in general. I'm trying to say, I'm sorry. My mother, they welcomed me, they were scared. They actually wanted to take me to the village. I said, "You people know, me, my life is inside. Yeah, I'm going to survive. I'm saying I'm going to survive." But people respect you when it is that you're doing something. So I had to hustle somehow and we are still hustling. That's for your questions for now. I'm ready for others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, what I've picked is that the word sorry means a lot. However, to really mean it, you have to work for it. So we have some questions from our brothers and sisters with disabilities.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Grace. I am doing Bachelor of Library and Information Science. I would like to ask this question. Of course, I've been very attentive, listening carefully. I've learned a lot from today's session. Your presentation was really I obtained a lot of information from the message you shared with us. You know, science tells us that sometimes characters are inherited. So with that, what do you see in your children that you have? Don't you think these characters that you portrayed are manifesting in probably one of your children? I'll be happy to hear from you.
All right. Thank you very much. We are going to have another question here.
There is another one still from this same.
Oh, okay. Let's finish them.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This is my sign name, and I'm Bashir. I serve the student with disabilities as the chairperson. I'm very excited and I'm very happy to learn from you today, sharing experience, sharing your story. It's been very helpful. I hope my colleagues, friends have equally learned like me. From your message, truly, I have personally seen something very vital. At one point, you survived death row. And here you are with us. All I say is, this is really very wonderful. I would like to understand, in which way do you think that you can partner with the university? As you said before, that you're working with an organization. How does this organization come on board to work with the university in case a student becomes a culprit and gets arrested and, you know, is off campus, off university for some good number of years? How best do you think this organization of yours can ensure this student comes back after serving the years in prison to continue with their studies? So how best can you connect with the university to ensure such students who might have been arrested, they come back to continue with their studies?
Wow. Wow.
Very wonderful questions from our friends.
And right there, by the way, he's the chairperson of Students with Disabilities. Thank you so much. He's very hardworking. Yeah, we're going to have another question from this side.
You're going to ask him.
Thank you so much. Good evening, colleagues. I'm Tayewa Nicholas. I do food science and technology, year 2. My question to Mr. Shedraka is, from the story you have told, we see your choices to do wrong things, or what I may call it bad things, started at an early age. Because you told us at 13 you had started, taking some drugs. So my question is, do you at one time blame that because of your parents? Do you think there is something they didn't tell you to do at an early age, maybe that pushed you into making wrong choices? And you as a parent now, do you think that what your parents may have lacked to tell you, do you tell it to your children? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that question. I'm going to have one question from this side.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, my name is Crispus. I'm from Sedat. I first want to thank each and everybody for coming here. Also thank you, Mr. Shadrack, for your wonderful monologue about your experience. Tumeshukuru sana. My question is basically, me personally, I stay in barracks, Luzera prisons. My father is a staff there. My main question is, like, if you look at the gender, you realize that there are more males in prison than the ladies. Even if you go to Luzera prisons, there are like 3 prisons for men and 1 for female. You realize that the number for the males are too much compared to the females. What could be the reason, since you have been there, you have interacted with most of them? So what could be taking more boys into prisons than girls? It's not that I want more girls there, but that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to have some questions from the other side.
This side. How many are we getting?
We're getting 2.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Eric and Leticia. My name is Pario Dan. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology. I also belong to Northcote. Northcote oye! Northcote oye! Siberia oye! Nkrumah oye! Thank you. Mr. Sadrock, I'm so moved by your story. We commiserate with you. We feel sad and also at the same time proud of how you have been able to handle this situation and how you emerging strong out of it, and also having the courage to come here and stand in front of us and trying to guide us, the young people, on how we can live, make better choices, and also live a fulfilling life. I appreciate you for that. We commensurate with you for that. My question is that you did mention in your earlier submission that up to now, you kind of still feel out of place. You can't step into some offices, especially you have OBs and OGs who have been able to make it in life, who are now ministers, who are MDs, and you can't step into some offices. I'm wondering what that has got to do with, your self-esteem and self-confidence. I don't know if there's a likely prospect of that changing in the future. Many in a way that if we somehow fall out of place, sometimes these things can be controllable, we can control them, but sometimes also fate goes different and we can't really control them. So can that change? Can you be able to walk back to your colleagues back then and be able to engage with them and also be able to reason with them that much as things didn't work at some point, but now you are a sensible person of society, you can offer solutions to society's problems, and you can actually come here, stand with us, reason with us, and address us. I would like to know about that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Another question from that side.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Magara. We appreciate for your time and story. My name is Joab Tugume. I'm a final year student at the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. 24 years is really, really a long time. I believe most of us here couldn't have been born by that time. And you told us how very many things changed. When you are going to the prison, the Uganda you left before entering prison, after 24 years, things must have changed a lot. You told you no longer have 6 packs. I don't know whether they got lost in the prison. You were eating very, I don't know. But I want to know, how did the people are asking how the world received you, how people welcomed you from prison. But now, this time I want to know, how did you receive the world that has changed 24 years? How did you cope up so that you can fit in the changed world of 24 years, so that you fit in this position where you can come and address people as a changed man? People are ready to hear from you. Thank you so much.
All right, we are going to have a question here, the last question, the very last question.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Shadrach's story, I believe it is a story every young Ugandan would or must listen to. And if you're an actor here, it's a story really you would love to act in and deliver a message to the world. My name is Tumwesige Fortunate. I am the founding director of a youth self-development platform called the Steam Living Platform. I'm a student leader in Ernest Cook University, Mengo. But I happen to have some moments and be here to learn, share, to connect, and share experiences. Mr. Shadrach, your story personally makes me remember 2 of the most important principles. In a book called Atomic Habits by an author called James Clear says, if you improve every day by 1%, you can become 33 times better by the end of the year. But if you decline each day, just small, you can become the most worst person. And also, your story reflects on that between birth, that is B, C, D, between birth and death, it is 2 things. It is 1 thing, choices. My question is now on the choice part. Today, if you're gonna make a move, a really great choice, what is the most inner thing that inspires you, like, to make the right choice? Or what is the driving purpose inside? From the experience you have faced, from everything that has managed to happen, what is the inner inspiration or purpose that makes you hope to make a right choice? Number 2 is about the book. I'm the founder of a book club called the Readers Book Club Uganda. We meet and reflect deep on books focused on growth, personal development, leadership, and soft skills. On the book your story would love to be listened by everyone. Yeah, I would love to have your book. Would love to read it, and probably would love to invite you to discuss more in relation to the book now. And also, I'm the founder of a bookshop. I would love to have more of your books for the fellow Ugandans, young Ugandans like me. But in all, personally in my life, today's evening has been one of the most impactful, reflective, and insightful evening. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And about the book, as I had told you earlier, you can make payments, 50,000, and then you can get a copy from the Office of the Advancement. Yes, thank you very much. I was going to close, but there is a gentleman who has told me that for his question is exceptional. Others have been speaking English. For him, he has a question. Please ask. That's the last question.
Yuecho! Yuecho! Good evening, everyone. My name is Joel Diamond Mangeni. I'm a student of law. Today, lawyers must shine. And I am the class representative of the 56th class. Mr. Magala, from the way you're speaking, there's a point, a sense of conviction that comes in while you are discussing your story, while saying it out there. There are very many what-ifs. How you would look in the mirror every single day, knowing very well that you spent 24 years in prison. You left a child who was 6 months, you said, and you spent 24 years in prison. That means that by the time you come out, that child is our age, the age around here, the average age around. So, number one, in the time of conviction, do you think you did forgive yourself as a person? Secondly, do you think your child forgives you for being an absent father for 24 years? The other one, the concept of prison. Do you think it is the prison that actually did change you as a person? Was it the prison that made you a better person, or it was the decisions you're making? Do you think that the people there are changing for the better inside? Is the concept of prison what changed you? Secondly, you did not talk more about the mother, the first mother, the girlfriend you had while you were here. What you only said was she saw you as a disappointment. So I want to know, when you move out, how do you face her? When you're inside, does she come to say hi? How do you ever see your child at these different intervals of life? Because 24 years is a lot, right? So those are my questions. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much, Diamond. At least got that. So now let's get back to our speaker as he answers our questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I don't know whether I should start with Diamond's question. Yes. Now, the first question, one of the things that died in prison were my eyes. Do you believe you forgive yourself? Forgiveness is one of the hardest things in life. One of the hardest. One of the hardest. And to be very honest with you, it's still something I'm struggling with. Accepting forgiveness. From God, from family, from community, from society. I cannot say I've forgiven myself. Times you look at yourself as the biggest idiot ever. When my father used to call me an idiot, I can't say I have, but I'm trying to. Because the more I live in that state of unforgiveness for myself, the more I can fail to move forward, About my son, whether he's forgiven me, I love my son. We are buddies, we are close. He didn't spend much time in the country, studied abroad. But in spite of the fact that we were separate for a long time, respect his mother for keeping me alive in his heart. And if you see us together, we are like brothers. You know, I came out, I left him a few months old. I came out when he was 25. I've been out for 6 years now. He's 31. My other two kids, I have one who's 5, another who's 3. They are still confused about whether they should call their brother an uncle or a brother. Also, I'm confused whether I should call him a son or a brother. So he's there, but we are tight. I'm sure he still struggles with many things, but we have an unconditional love between the two of us. One thing I learned with children, there's someone asking a question about a relationship with but I'll come to that one anyway. Then you're asking, do I believe it's a prison that changed me, or me who changed myself? Now I think you be very careful about people who say they've changed. People who know they've changed, really it's between God and them, and how they change, because you struggle with things every day. But one thing I talk about, especially when I'm pleading for prisoners, when they talk about prison reform, it is looked at in different ways. Some people can look at prison reform like taking university programs to prison, teaching them, people who are illiterate, you know, ABC. We have a primary school, secondary school. MUBS also has, you know, programs carried out in prison. That is looked at one form of reform. Other people look at reform as skilling inmates. You go and they teach you carpentry, they teach you baking, they teach you hair dressing, all that kind of thing as reform. Other people look at reform as going to the church, going to the mosque, becoming spiritually aware and coming into contact with your God. Those are different kinds of things that are considered reform. But one thing I want to tell you, and one thing I've seen with my own eyes, whatever you learn from prison, and you come out of there, and you have no place to stay, you have no clothes, no medicine, no food, whatever it is that you have learned goes out of the window. I wouldn't want to say this, but it's true. I've had inmates who are preaching inside the prison there, you know, but they come out, society is not ready to welcome them. You end up hearing, hey, Pastor so-and-so was arrested robbing here and there, you know. So when we talk about reform, it is an ongoing process. And the thing is that much as we need it on the inside, you also did it here on the outside. And it's a continual process. Me, I believe change, it is about me and my God. And I can't say, I don't want to preach. I can't say that he found me, that rather that I came, that I was ready to change and what. It was by his grace that he's helping me to be who I am. No credit to me, it's all credit to him. And I'm still a work in progress. I am not yet there yet. Then, what were you? The one where you ask very tough questions. Tough and painful. Because you know there are certain things you talk about, that's why you have to be very careful. What you talk about is going to be seen, it's going to be heard by everybody. And some issues we are discussing here are deeply personal. Because what I say does not touch me only, but touches so many other people. So at times when you find I'm not talking about someone, I'm not talking about something, I'm trying to respect people's privacy, their lives, and not bring them into whatever I've been through. So my girlfriend, let her continue living her life in peace. I caused her enough pain already, I don't want to bring it back again. Is that okay? All right. So now we are going to another question. What is my driving purpose in life? Or to help me to make the right choices? It's like asking me, what the hell are you doing here? Let me tell you something. When you've been through what I've been through, when you have all the time to just sit and do nothing, you didn't want to study, you didn't want to work, you didn't want to do what. Now you're in a prison every day, you wake up and you sit. You wake up and you think. Every day is a lesson in itself. I used to sit and think and say now, because when they execute you in prison, your family isn't allowed to have access to your body. They bury it somewhere under some cabbage, whatever is there. Nobody will ever see you again, and you leave a legacy of shame, a legacy that will follow your children for the rest of their lives. My driving force is, as I said, if wrong decisions can take you to a very bad place, right decisions can take you to a better one. I'm trying to make right decisions and help people. And hope that in some way, I can leave a better legacy for my children. I have a brother who died recently. He was a doctor treating cancer patients. People used to blame him why he wasn't looking for jobs which make a lot of money. But when he died, the people who came to bury him were people whose lives he had touched, you know. My driving force is, I hope when my day comes, some of you will come and say, hey, that guy came and he said something which changed my life, you know. Did something that built me. So that is my driving force. You know, money, we need money, but nobody is going to come and talk about ex-inmates or talk about your faults if you think you're looking for money, no. So if you can help me with that one is good. Another question is, how did the world receive you? Or how did you receive the world? Well, I think you should know the time I was arrested, mobile phones had just come out. I'd never touched one. The internet was just coming in. These were new things to us. I remember even first studying on the internet, I had a friend who was a Chinese prisoner. I used to teach us, you know, drawing this cable, you connect to that one, very, very green. All of those things were not there. When I came out into the outside world, I saw they took me petrol station, paying with an ATM. I didn't understand all of that, you know. But you have to survive. You have to see how you can get a move on. I had a brother who was doing money lending business. I was really good in mathematics. So I grabbed it very quickly. I had learned from my failures. Before, where I used to tell lies, I tried to be honest and faithful to my friends. A friend who I was with in prison, a good friend, they lent me some money, 10 million shillings. I started a money lending business, registered it and everything. It grew to 4 branches in a very short time. And that is when COVID came and hit me, you know, back to rock bottom, you know. But still I had to get up again and moving into business of selling cars and everything. But all in that, there was something that I felt I had to do. God didn't take me to prison all that time and bring me out to come and start selling cars, doing money lending, or be rearing, no. So with that conviction came slowly by slowly. It is what led me to what I'm doing now. But the world hasn't been kind. It has been rough. And that I can understand. I remember there's a friend of mine, I'm the godfather to a child. She was staying in an apartment in Mutungu there. I used to go and see her. So a former friend saw me there, I didn't know. And he went and complained to the landlord, you know. He said that, hey, this girl here, she's bringing killers into this place and everything. The landlord called the lady and told her, no, you have to leave. Here you are bringing bad people in a place like this. I sat and looked and, you know, it really hurt me. I said, what have I done? So no, is somebody following me for nothing. But in the midst of that pain, I became happy. You know, it's one thing to be beaten up for doing wrong. But it's another thing if you are to be beaten up for doing what is right. You have a feeling that there's a God behind you who's going to make things right. So it isn't easy. The world, like the NGO which I'm doing, people can easily help you if you are going to help widows, you are going to help orphans. But you say you want to help ex-prisoners. It isn't something that you'll get support here and there. It's an uphill struggle. Little money I got is where I've been buying beds, mattresses. We're trying to start what they call halfway home system. Prisoners who have nowhere to go. They can sleep there, you can skill them. But no support actually from anywhere. Just seeing how we can help one another because we know what it's like. I know where I'd have been if it wasn't for a family that would welcome me. So the world is like that. It hasn't been easy. And for me, what I'm doing is I just have to fight with it. Honestly, coming here wasn't easy. I was telling him, I think he called me. He said, hey, are you ready? I said, man, I'm looking for toilet paper. The area is too much, just to vitengo. You know, I'm fearing to face these guys and whatever. So it's an uphill struggle. But the more I come out, the more I do it, I think the more comfortable I feel. And then God knows how he's going to judge these things. Then, let me see. Someone was asking me if my characteristics are in my children. In my second son, I see a lot of me in him. What I see in him is that desire to please everybody at his own expense and the expense of his family. He'll have friends around and he'll bring every good thing you have given him and give his friends. He wants to please his friends all the time. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. It's how you give in to peer pressure because you want to please everybody who's around you. And I think he's going to be all right as long as we are going to guide him. I know he's going to be okay as long as I'm helping him. But there's nothing that... I write my book and I start with everybody was an angel. Nobody is born a killer. Nobody is born a thief. Nobody is born whatever it is that you think about him. There are so many things that come into play that we fight, but I don't know. Anyway, that is for psychologists. They can understand that one better. Then someone asked, how can the university, university working with this organization and helping arrested students come back come back to universities to study? As I was talking with Yemi was saying that that is why we are here. What we are trying to do is to prevent something from happening. If you can learn from whatever it is that we are discussing inside here, there's no need for somebody to end up in prison yet again. You know, prison here, university also here, it has its rules. I don't know how it is like if you miss for 2 years, you cannot come back. You know, there's something like that. You cannot go to prison, I think, for 10 years. I think you're going to come back and join the university where you stopped. So what we are going to try to do the best that we can is how we can help people not to go to the prisons and have their lives better. If there's anything we can do apart from that, we are more than welcome to help out. Then someone asked me, do you blame your parents for your making the wrong choices? Do you tell your kids? I can never at ever one moment blame my parents for how I turned up. We were 6 children. Those people study about environment. 6, 2 girls, 4 boys. I ended up in prison, gang leader in prison, while my brother was a renowned doctor outside here, helping cancer and HIV patients. We went through the same environment. We turned out differently. I had everything that my parents could give. I can't say that I lacked for anything. Even the advice and everything, it was all there. But we are individual beings. How we receive things and how we relate to them. Nobody is perfect. But I wish if I had had like a congregation like this, if I had managed to listen to some words like this, you know, there's when they tell some people when they are lecturing you, you know, for those of us who are very rebellious, you refuse that information from getting, you know, root inside your mind. But when you can tell a story that you can see, you know, I am very sure none of you wants to end up like me, you know. So if you want to go and learn from experience, that one is up to you. But then you are given a better chance of avoiding those problems. So I do not blame them from anything at all. The blame of how I turned up is entirely mine. And the way I can really change my life, it is entirely up to me. So it is all in our hands, what determines our lives. Then why are more men in prison? I think that is something that an answer that is, you know, worldwide. All over the world you'll find there are more men. There's no country you'll find where there are more women than men, unless it's the Amazon or something, which has a women population or something like that. But naturally, men are the ones who move out, culture and everything, women are inside. Women's cases are made emotional or something. Men who think they are struggling to provide. Though I believe that more than 70% cases of why men are in prison, it's mainly because of women in one way or another. They're trying to please them or look for money or fighting over them or something like that. But that one, it is a worldwide thing. It is just natural that there are more men in prison. And then finally, likely prospect of self-esteem changing. Boss, thank you for answering that question. Or rather, asking me that question. Most of our problems is self-esteem. And fighting it is not easy. Fighting the stigma, it isn't easy. Me standing and talking in front of you, I'm telling you, you should know how far I have come. You know, the gentleman said that now you've been through of this, you're coming talking to Makerians now. Makerians, yeah? What right do you have? This is not Dr. James Magara. When ni nani, unasimama hapa tuambia nini? You know? And I look at myself also, there's this voice saying that, you idiot, what the hell are you going to do there? But then there's another voice also saying, man, bwana, yo mimi, it isn't me. There's something else that is using me for this. Let me go there if I can help somebody in one way or another. Slowly by slowly, God also is going to. I don't know if people like movies. There's a movie of King Arthur, you know, and his knights. So there's one of the knights, I think it's Galahad or something, who disappeared for a very long time. So he came back and found this one had conquest, the other had conquest, the other one. He had nothing to talk about. So he said, let me disappear. Let me do my thing. When I have something to talk about, I'm going to come and join these people. There are some tables you do not sit at unless you are worth something. You are here, you have friends here, you're all here together, friends. You're going to go out into the world tomorrow. You know, one is going to end up a drunkard, God forbid. Another is going to end up a CEO of some organization. Another is going to end up what? If you are not at the same level, believe me, your friendship is going to what? It is going to change. So we've got to add value to ourselves to see that we can be accepted or welcomed in one area or another. So me, I'm trying to do my thing. Where I'll be accepted, where I'll be welcome, Mungu anajua. But I wish you all the best. And Wambi, I thank you for hosting me. I thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk to you. I pray what I have said may take roots in your hearts in one way or another. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. Okay? Make wise choices. Don't end up like me, all right? And wherever bad things are, it can turn around. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much. At this moment of time, let's welcome Mr. Geoffrey to give the closing remarks.
Thank you very much. Wow, let's appreciate our speaker for this evening. I think about Shadrach's mom walking up that hill to Luzira maximum prison for 24 years. I think about his father going 2 days before he passed on to share his heart and his anger with a son who he felt let him down. And it's very easy to point fingers. But how many times have we caused our mothers hurt? How many times have you caused your mother hurt? How many times have you disappointed your father? I say that to you as I say it to myself. It is stories like these that bring to life the vision that Mama, the First Lady of Uganda, had when she started the Emerging Leaders Program. She wants to save us from getting to where who? Shadrach got to. She seeks a values-driven crop of leaders who are ignited to impact nations, not only Uganda, but that won't happen if we don't get to the heart of self-awareness, self-regulation, emotional intelligence, how we socialize. And the SAFE campaign is at the heart of what we do. You heard Shadrach's story. There was a lot to do with drugs, addiction to drugs, alcohol, sexual activity, lack of focus on education. He kept repeating, I didn't know why I was going to school. I just went to pass exams. But why? And I believe we can all be part of a movement to do something great, to be part of this movement of growing a crop of leaders, values-driven leaders, ignited to transform nations. How can we do that? Have you heard about safe clubs? How many people have heard about safe clubs? Show of hands. Kashif. Kashif, where are you? Kashif is the president of the safe clubs at Makerere University. And there are just a handful of people that have heard about safe clubs. But I want to encourage us to join the safe clubs. Because in the safe clubs, we can relate more with the stories like we've heard from Shadrach this evening at a personal level, and see how we can save our brothers and sisters from getting into the pits of life or into the traps of life. It is about our choices. Let's make sure we make the right choices. I thank the ELP leaders here, and I want to thank Mama again for the sacrifices that she's made to make sure that students, not only at Makerere, but across universities, because we'll be moving to the other universities as well, hear this message and many other messages to make sure we don't find ourselves in the wrong places. Thank you very much. Thank you for your courage, Shadrach. Thank you for sharing your story, and we believe it will make a difference to us. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mr. Joffre. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Mr. Joffre. You might be there. Maybe you came worried or confused about something, or you're facing difficulty in making a choice. I believe that you've taken one thing home or two. And another thing I'd like to emphasize on the book, he has told us about the story, but there are some people who didn't maybe hear the story, or they want to know more, so you can get it through the book, which I've told you that you can make payments, make your order, and then you can find it in the advancement office. Thank you very much. Once more, I'd like to thank Mama Janet Katam Seveni, who brought this initiative of the Emerging Leaders Program, specifically to help us with the young students, the young people in every corner of the country, to develop leadership skills, to become creative. You cannot only leave university with books. You need other things that can help you survive in the country. Yeah? And another thing is that the Emerging Leaders Program is here for you. If you want to join it, don't hesitate. Come and join. If you want to ask any questions, people here in T-shirts of Emerging Leaders Program, reach out to any of them. Ask them any question you want to ask them. They're going to help you. Even if you need mentorship, maybe you're in your room, you're worried about something, don't hesitate to reach out to anyone, even if you don't have supper. Yeah.
Let them come.
Yes, yes. I also talked about that one. So thank you very much.
About the book still, it is at Aristoc Bookshop and at Amazon. So you can get it from 3 places. From the advancement office at Ivory Tower, Amazon, and Aristoc Bookshop. Thank you. Right now, let's welcome Mrs. Betty to hand over, Mrs. Betty and the ELP team to hand over the gift to our guest speaker.
Emojong Kasaija, Right Honorable Chinkum Isaac, Mr. Joffre, Miss Betty, Miss Sandra. Yeah. I'm inviting you to come and hand over the gift to our speaker, Mr. Shadrach. And with the lady. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Shadrach. Thank you so much, team. We are going to have a closing prayer, and then we shall go for the picture moment.
Let us have the speaker to give us the closing prayer.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Let's stand up for the closing prayer. Loving Father, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for all the ideas that we have discussed. We thank you for our guest speakers. We thank you for each and everyone who has come for this Kyoto. We thank you for the life you have given us. We thank you for the knowledge you have given us. And we pray that whatever we have discussed in this Kyoto, we might take it on, implement it, and live better lives. We thank you for the life of Mama. We pray that you give her better health, better life. And we pray for the life of each and everyone who is in Makerere University and all the other emerging leaders. Lord Father, as we move back to our places of residence, we pray for your guidance. We pray for your security and support in everything that we do. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, our speaker. Thank you for that prayer. One more time, I'd like to say thank you very much for making it. Of course, some other people are there doing other things, but you decided to come here. We really appreciate. And then for the other Kyoto, we look forward to seeing all of you. We're going to have picture moments. Mr. Shadrach Magara, we're going to have the first picture with the team, the ELP team, Advancement Office, and our Prime Minister. Thank you. That's the first picture. And then the people putting on t-shirts of ELP, be preparing. You're the second.
Even me.
No.